in this situation, just mid-check like I did. Save yourself the guessing and then make this advantageous for yourself. I Oki him with 1+2 just in case. If he were to mash, I get another full combo. Then I was expecting that Demon Paw again, so there's my parry, and then I get Hell Swept, so it makes perfect sense there. He drops his combo, so I kind of take advantage. And then he misses his Laser Scraper, and then I'm able to get a sidestep too since he started mashing. So a little bit of optimization, you can steal this combo if you like. And then I use forward 1+2 right away. Right, as you can see, there was no hesitation with that. And that will cover any grounded wake-ups. If he stays on the ground, it'll cover any mashing wake-ups, and it'll be advantageous. So if I take control of Jin really quickly, I can show you that. I'll just stay on the floor for a little bit. Right, and then I get flipped. So you're covering all these wake-up options, and it's making it easier for you. And if he stands up like he does here, you get some plus frames. Boom, right there. So we can jab right here. So he crouches after this, and then he tries to do a low parry for some reason, and then I catch him on down back 1-2. So there's that first round. All right, on to that second round. This is kind of gimmicky. This is a mini hop into wall standing 3. I probably wouldn't recommend doing it, but I'll do it every once in a while just to see if my opponent is crazy enough to challenge me, which this Jin is. Down forward 1-2, he catches me with Demon Paw. Very delayed hell sweep, as you can see. He's moving quite a bit. Then I lose to the heat smash. So if we take a look at what happened in this second round, Jin is switching his timing up on me a little bit, but I'm also picking up that he likes to play in a very delayed way, and that gives me some info to work off of. So he goes into his end stance, goes low, and then after my down forward 1-2, I try to do a sidestep block. And the reason I do this, if I turn the frames on real quick, is that here at -3, I could potentially get around something. In this case, he moves forward into his Demon Paw, which allows this move to track a little bit. But there is a world where I can step around something here, so maybe we'll try going right and see what happens. Right, see? If I go right, I'm able to get around that Demon Paw. So it also didn't help that I was going for sidestep too. So he does some moving around before Hell Sweep, and this is pretty much at the point where you want to mid-check. If you freeze up like I did, this is where the Hell Sweeps are going to get you every time. And as soon as you make that mental switch of let me mid-check instead of trying to guess this Hell Sweep, it'll save you so many guessing games with Mishimas. And like I said earlier, I have a whole video breaking this down if you want to check it out. So then it's just typical Oki from Jin, and then I crouch and then he goes mid. Alright, moving on to round 3. Up forward 3 for some counter hit fishing. He chose to use down forward 2, and that was a pretty easy punch parry for me. Weird optimization at the wall. I should have went 2-1 down +2. So he kind of punishes me for that. Weak punish on sidestep 2. And then as you can see, Jin is starting to play in that delayed fashion like he was in that last round. So now that back 3 is almost guaranteed at this point. Doesn't break the command throw. Run up, down 4. Keep it very simple. Okay, so breaking down this third round is the point at which I have more of a read on Jin. So he played more jab centric at range 0. This punch parry shows that I'm confident in my read. And he was jabbing, so punch parry is going to work. My setup here was kind of lame. I was a bit out of range after full crouch down forward 2, and I couldn't set up with anything, right? So pushes him just far enough to where my next button whiffs. So it's pretty unfortunate. And that's totally my fault. Then we're gonna go ahead and break that throw. He's poking me, and then there's that delayed movement. Watch. After down 4, he backdashes, then he moves forward, and then he presses. So if we show his command history, you can check it out. Backdash, down back, and then he goes forward into heat smash is what it looks like he tried to do there. And all of that just takes too much time. So for me to throw out a launcher at this point makes perfect sense because his button is coming out way too slow. So we can almost guarantee a counter hit in that position. Then, after this wall combo's over, I want to keep him at the wall. So I'm going to do a side step to the left. As you can see, he also tech rolled to the right. So he's pretty much still straight, flat up against this wall, which means if he crouches on this Oki, the round's almost over, right? I get the wall splat and then he's super low. But he just stood up and he blocked my forward 3, so I have to respect that. Fan throw, he didn't break. And then run up, either down 4 or run up down forward 1, and that's how you end those rounds. Okay, on to round 4. So a little bit of keep out just to see what he would do. No punish on wall 7-3. And then for some reason he mashes into that straight. Heat activation, 2-1 down 1+2. And I'm just doing a very basic full crouch mix up here. And we'll talk about what I'm doing with these jabs here in the analysis. So now let's break down this last round. So when I'm playing at this range, I'm not really wanting these attacks to land. They're just to test his patience. And Jin clearly is not doing anything about it. So I'm fine with that. It does kind of egg him on to come near me though, which is fine. I have an answer to him. So he walks up and then he mashes on my string. So we'll optimize for the wall, activate heat, set up charge with 2-1 down +2. This particular string will allow you to be in crouch already. So now your wall ender is complete and you're already in crouch for this. So as you can see, he tried to hop kick me. He couldn't beat me to this. So there's a winning interaction there. He wakes up again and I charge again. He has some plus frames to work with, but it's pretty patient. Then I pretty much just jab him to death at the wall. And this is specific to Asuka. So the reason this jab sequence works is because Asuka's jab string can be canceled. You don't have to do the entire string. You can do 1-1, you can do 1-1-3, or you can just do a 1 jab. So there are 3 different scenarios that could play out here after this jab. If I finish the rest of the string and Jin expects me to not finish it, then he gets hit. But if I don't finish it and he doesn't do anything, I can just restart the sequence over again and have him guess when I'm going to be done. So here, I did a 1 jab. I didn't finish it. Then I did 1-1, 3. So there he expected me to not do the entire string and then he got hit. And since he's against the wall, he can't run from me. So I can rinse and repeat this sequence one more time. 1 jab, 1 jab, 1-1-3. So at any point, these 1 jabs could be a 1-1-3, it could be a 1-1, but Jin doesn't know that. So I can use that mental pressure of me using that 1 jab and psych him out and make him think I'm going to do the rest of the straight. Then I went for hit confirm down back 1-2 into down forward 4. Now we're moving on to this second match of the set. So we start out the round with a punch parry because we know by now that this Jin is very jab centric. So that's a read that we can make with some pretty high confidence. We've seen this situation before in the last match. 2-1 down +2 into charge. This time I actually get the tornado. Looping some forward ones we'll talk about. So now I'm power crushing him to get him back into the wall. Some charge setups, just wanting him to mash or move, and then he does. So now let's break this whole round down. So this punch parry, of course, there's lots of risk attached to it, but we have data to back up why we're doing the punch parry. 2-1 down +2 into charge. Down back 2 to convert this into a full combo. I went for forward 1 because I wanted the reset. If he wakes up, which he does right here, he gets hit again. And I can reset the situation. So he wakes up into the wall. I'm plus. He doesn't mash or duck the string. So we're good there. Power crush to get him back in the wall. Heat smash, charge, cancel, 1-1-3. All right, moving on to this second round. Down forward 1 mid check to cover any hell sweeps or crouch dash attempts. There's that electric, and that's a pretty typical range for electric, so that's why I did the punch parry there. Forward 1 to reset. He's trying to beat me to the punch there, but forward 1, reset will beat you first. Then he catches me, trying to cancel in front of him, so that was smart on his decision. Incorrect punish for that there. Then he does a really nice sidewalk. And I'm kind of up against the wall here, so it's pretty risky for me. Demon Paw, we get our follow-up. Down back 3. 1-3 to end the round. Very typical round ender for me. Jab check, and he's on it. He did drop the combo though. So go under that electric. Demon Paw lands. Again, a very delayed down back 4 from him. He did a sidestep to the right first. Okay, ends the combo. I'm trying to get away from the wall, but as you can see, he's keeping me there pretty well. Mid check to end the round. So let me show you guys why this round didn't go as well as it could have. So that jab check was pretty safe on my side, but he was ready for this jab check apparently, and he was able to punish me for that. I'm looking for that electric punch parry, it didn't come out. And my range 0 isn't looking as solid this time. So I'm respecting Jin too much in this round, giving him way too much respect, and this is what happens. This goes for really any Mishima you play against. Here I am getting up, I do a sidestep, and then I magic forward, out of range. It just should be a mid-check. So I'm getting punished by not mid-checking. Down back 4, mid-check, on to round 4. There's my mid-check again. No punish for that. There's his magic core. Break that throw. This route is okay. There's better combo routes for that situation. Reset the combo. Just very casually sidewalks it. Then he drops it. Absorb a few hits there. And then he got caught sidewalking or sidestepping. I got a little greedy with this combo, and it just kind of ended in my demise there. So there's his Rage Art. Since he had a few hits in this combo already, this does not kill. As you can see, I survived with a little bit of health. Then I do a wake-up kick, and then I Rage Art him. So the reason I went for that wake-up kick is because I knew he wanted to pressure that wake-up before I had a chance to do anything. As with Rage Art though, you don't have a huge advantage on Oki. In this video, we'll be focusing on playing against Haorong, specifically as Asuka, but if you're not an Asuka player, you can still learn a few things from this video. So we start the round out by playing a little bit of Keep Out. One Keep Out option whiffs and immediate Plasma Blades. So pretty typical from a Haorong player. They're pretty good at scouting out that Plasma Blade. Sidestep 2 lands. I read a crouch with really no data. So it's kind of a gamble there. And then we get that punch parry. We'll talk about that punch parry. It's a typical sequence that I've seen, and I can help you kind of break that part down. So whiplash, we don't want to get antsy. Those whiplashes are coming out because he wants me to mash. So this throw really hurts. The Oki's kind of weird. And then I mash in between the string. So let's go back. So this first part of the round is me just trying to keep Haorong out, but Haorong clearly sees me playing Keep Out and has a very simple response, which is Plasma Blade. So when this happens, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because now you've learned something about your opponent. Here is where the anti-Haorong strats come in. So check this out. So I have the frames on to show you guys how this works. So here Haorong is in right flamingo, and he's setting up right flamingo forward 3. So right flamingo forward 3 leaves Haorong at +4, which seems like it's gonna suck for us, right? And in most cases it kind of does suck for us, but it does put us into a sidestep window. So after we block this, we can do a sidestep to the left, and we can duck, but I chose to commit to the sidestep 2 here. This is going to get you out of a lot of situations with Haorong. So I'll show you this one more time. 3 + 4. or forward 3+4, and then he's in right flamingo. Forward 3, he does it once, it whiffs. I wake up, he does it again. Sidestep to the left. Power Crush whiffs, I'm able to sidestep 2 right here. Now it's Heat Engager time, and I just make a guess that he crouch here. There's no skin off my back if he's standing, but he ended up crouching, so with a small combo because of the Harada wall, and then Haorong's doing his mix-ups as usual. And then this punch parry comes out. So I don't have any data on Haorong. This particular player, I've never played against him before. This punch parry comes from me playing against Haorong players in general. And normally I don't like generalizing playstyles because it's overall detrimental. But this setup I've seen multiple times before. And this punch allows Haorong to carry his momentum. So, boom. There's the kick. If you duck here, you can get around the sequence. I'll just take over real quick, show you. Boom. So you can duck right under that jab. Then you can counter his next option. Or you can punch parry it if you have one. So I did. And then I was able to get this combo right here. So pay attention to when you see this particular animation, this particular kick from Haorong. Boom. Expect a punch after this. If he punches you, this is him trying to carry his momentum. And you can get around that by parrying or ducking under it. Since Asuka has a punch parry, I'm going to use it. So this wall makes the combo a little weird. The Heat Smash Ender was not super optimal, but it worked for the moment. Some counter hit fishing, and then, as you can see, double whiplash from Haorong. This is still losing for me, because me blocking this, look at my health bar. This is me blocking a whiplash. He didn't even hit me yet, and I'm losing all this health. So, you really can react to the whiplash, and you can punish it. In my experience, I've really struggled with it, so I would rather either parry it or just block it. In this case, I'm just blocking because I don't want to get blown up. It puts him in plus frames afterwards, as you can see. So the best option would be to do a sidestep left duck, as we covered earlier, because if you do that sidestep left duck, watch what happens. See, you can block that low right there. So boom, boom. That would be the ideal situation, right? You can beat the punch, you can beat the low. But here I am just blocking. And then I go under the jab because I know it's coming. Right here, right? He's going to jab to keep his momentum. I go under the jab, crush it. Then I was a bit too early on my low, so it whiffed. That dang throw. Sidestep 2 lands. And then I mashed to the string. Okay, on to that second round. That first round had a lot of stuff in it. So there I am, beating him to the punch on that power crush. He wanted to cancel, so he got punished for it. While sending one forward to get to the wall. Me trying to do a sidestep block there, and he was ready for it, clearly. While running 1+2, and we can end this round pretty cleanly. So there aren't many interactions that happen in this second round, but I want to talk about what happened here. So this is the beginning of his power crush animation, and then he canceled it, as you can see over on the right. He canceled it into down 4. So this allows me to counter hit him now, and I get this launch. We do a combo to get to the wall, try our very best. While standing 1-4, look how far he's going. Look how far this wall carry is. And we can still end it. So I also covered this in another video. Combo structure. I think it's Season 2 combo structure for Asuka. Now, on to round 3. He tries to Plasma Blade a whiffed jab, which is possible, but it's not very practical. And the connection was decent, so I think he just had a slow reaction time. He catches me a power crush. There I am trying to punish. As you can see, I'm trying to punish the whiplash. Still too slow. Even though I had a somewhat decent reaction there. Then we had an unblockable setup. So just a brief breakdown of this round. It was very quick. Again, he's trying to punish moves that recover very quickly. We can use down forward 2 to punish that. 1, 2, 3. Up forward 1, 2. Heat activation. 2, 3. Not the best optimization there. Power crushes right out the pressure. Look how quickly I try to react to this whiplash. So watch. There's a whiplash. It just goes over my head. There's my attack. Just a few frames too slow. And it gets blocked. So you really have to be on point to punish that. Spike and unblockable. I'll do that setup when the wall situation looks like it does there. On to round 4. Another plasma blade that I blocked, and that's because up forward 3 recovers quickly. So kind of like his whiplash, if you don't respond immediately to a whiffed up forward 3, I get to block your next follow-up. So there's that typical Harong pressure. I'm looking for a low, I hard commit, and I was wrong. There I look for the low parry again, because there can only be mid or a low wake up, right? Then we get to end the round from that. Alright, let's break down this round 4. So this mid range is pretty typical, and then like I showed you earlier, up forward 3 recovers quickly. So that plasma blade, it's not going to work unless he's really quick with it. He mashes through back forward 2. Kind of just waiting around. His back is against the wall right now, so I have no reason to rush him. He's already cornered, so I just need to be patient. A little bit of space control with forward 3, as you can see. I was just out of range, actually pretty far out of range, but he was also out of range to plasma blade me. So pretty risky, but not as risky as it looked. During this pressure sequence from Harong, I'm looking for the low after this jab, and it didn't come out. So I go under his high kick, and then I get launched by the mid. He drops the combo. I try to Oki him. He doesn't stand up, but I did get the low Sabaki. So check this out. This 1+2 would cover a mid or a low wake up kick, but he didn't do it, right? So now he has another chance to do a mid or a low wake up kick after this whiffs. So I can choose a mid Sabaki, or I can choose a low Sabaki. And if I'm wrong, I lose like 10 or 15 health. So it's really in my best interest to guess on one of these two or try and react to it. Then I get a full combo, as you can see. So totally worth trying to cover those options. Okay, moving on to the second match of the set. I'm going to keep the frames up top, and I'll keep his inputs on the right as well. So we start off with a hop kick. He does that really slow sweep, so we go right over it. Pretty easy. The optimization wasn't good there because I wasn't able to end the combo. So mid check, 2-3 to punish him, and then a very, very delayed 1+2. So let's go ahead and analyze that first round. So I went ahead and gambled on the round start, which generally I don't gamble, but I just had a gut feeling that he would do something like that. So it paid off for me there. I power crushed through this pressure. So he's going to use 1-2, 1-2-4, and this is left flamingo. So I could try and block this next mix up, or I can try and power crush him before he mixes me up. That was my thought process right here, because he only has a few frames to work with. So I'll actually go ahead and show you that. When he presses 1-2-4, boom, 1-2-4, he has +3. I pretty much have to respect this, or I can power crush my way out of it, or I can jab. So I can show you the jab right here. Jab is not going to be reliable if he jabs you. So it's kind of like a guessing game, and that's where Harong really thrives. So me power crushing, there's risk to this, but you can give it a shot in your own games. I follow him after he gets knocked down. So there's my forward dash, and there's my side step to the left to stay on axis. 1+2 got blocked because he just stands up normally. But it was worth a shot. Down forward 1-2 creates a bit of space. You want to use that space and bait them into pressing. So down forward 1-2 gets blocked. I do a sidestep left and a little backdash. It makes his attack whiff. Then I do a super delayed 1+2, and this is to create hesitation. This is create confusion, create some chaos. And chaos is exactly what you need if you want something to get counter hit or you want your opponent to duck randomly. So after this knockdown, instead of going for an immediate 1+2, I do some forward dash cancels, and this will create a bit of confusion in your opponent. All right, on to round 2. So there he does a double cancel with Power Crush. Pretty good for tracking. I failed my wall sitting 1+2 there. So he's just playing a very typical mid-range, nothing crazy. Whatever he pressed there was pretty slow, so down forward 2 was able to clip him. The wall is near, but not near enough for me to try and get to it. I'd rather just reset. Down 1+2. Kazama Blade lands. Thankfully, the wall can save me. And those flappy kicks, not worth power crushing, not at all. So there are some points where this second round went well, and there are points where this second round went horribly wrong. I'm going to show you guys some tips against this particular pressure. So here's down 3-4. Stuff we've all seen before. Since I got hit here, there's nothing I can do. So he goes into his next mix-up. And then I'll show you, here's another moment you can do sidestep left duck. And generally, it might look something like this, right? You'll block part of this, or you'll go under it. This is much better than getting blown up, right? So I got blown up right here because I tried to do a punch parry. Mid-range. And he plays this honestly, very calculated. So he did a good job with that. Down forward 2 lands, we'll skip through this combo. And then I do spike here. I reset with 3+4 after the spike. The moment he tries to get up, full crouch down forward 3 will clip. But it's a very, very specific timing, and you won't get it all the time. But it's worth going for. Flappy kicks I absorb, sadly. And then I was just screwed right here because I was turned around. Alright, round 3. So another with Plasma Blade. He's trying his best. Like I said, the connection was really good, so his reaction time was just a bit slow. 2-3 to get to the wall. End this combo normally. Some Oki that I do pretty commonly. We expect him to do a flying kick like that, so we can sidewalk it. Wrong special. Down 3-4 we block, and then we punish. And then we kill him with the mallet. Now let's break down this third round, because there's some anti-Hairong tech I want you guys to be aware of. So after this combo's over, let's check this out. Up forward 1-2, P activation, 2-3, 1+4, 2-4. We do back 1+4 to catch the tech roll. Boom. Now we're +5. We use that +5. You can do whatever you want with it, right? You can throw, you can use 1-3 like I did. That puts you at 0, which gives you a nice sidestep window. He catches me on it though. He's running at me, and most of the time if Hairong's running at you, just sidewalk left. Don't even second guess it, just sidewalk left and get around that pressure. He's smart, power crushing me there. Down 3-4 is launch punishable. So you block this, he does the high, just launch him. I'm using while standing 3. Then after this, I just use the mallet because I was just being funny, I guess. Alright, on to round 4. So there's the power crush. He's struggling to turn around because I got him on the side. That is a very weak punish, and I noticed I didn't actually know what the punish was for that attack. So counter hit fishing while standing 1+2. And then I also incorrectly punished that move too, which I thought it would be a stagger and it wasn't. Alright, let's break down round 4 because Hairong was really taking the reins here. So I did the sidewalk, Got the guaranteed 2-1. He does a super weak punish on my down +2. Again, a delayed 1+2 just to see if he would crouch or not. So there's a first forward dash, there's a second forward dash, and then there's 1+2. So some counter hit fishing while standing 1+2. So let me show you guys what the actual punish for this is. And there's your real punish. Not what I'm doing here. While standing 1-4 is what you want. Then he catches me on this throw. That was the whole round, that fast. Okay, on to this final round. So, pretty delayed from him. He's not picking the fastest options in Flamingo. Take advantage of that. Staying grounded, we can also take advantage of that. Down back 1-2 to beat that cancel, and a heat smash to end the round. So on this second set, we find him again. So there's more how wrong things we can learn. And this was a lot closer as well, so this is a longer set. So some more fishing from my side. Some space control with forward 3. It's a staple in my game plan is controlling that space in front of you. You don't want to be too patient. So there he tries to quickly turn around and stop me from mashing because he was turned around. Heat activation. So let's break down this first round. So down forward 4 at round start again. And then really you don't want to just be frozen here, right? You want to keep out or you want to space control. So I use forward 3. Guaranteed forward 3+4. And then kind of a delayed forward 3. He was crouching, so this is going to land. Then he just power crushes right through the pressure. Something happened with the axis there, and we are able to get to the wall. And just doing a reset because don't really care about the wall blast there. While standing 4 and then down forward 4. Okay, on to round 2. There I am unsure of the punish, just like that last match. I did not know it at the time, but now I do. This should be up forward 2. So some really delayed options and some cancels from me. It seems risky, it seems kind of crazy. It's really the best you can do though, because Asuka can get very linear at times. So now let's check out what happened in the second round, because now Haorong has a bit of steam going. So I mash him between the string. He's doing some typical Haorong pressure, but now my back is against the wall. So my ability to move left and right is limited. 2-1 down +2 cancel into a super delayed 1+2. So my goal here is to either get him to hesitate and mash or hesitate and crouch, which he did not do either of them. So that was kind of, it felt like a wasted effort at that point. He gets me with the string again, and then I didn't break the throw. So there's that second round. Okay, on to round 3. There's that round start. He uses again. Up forward 3. He does the cancel into... I knew that jab was coming. Just experience from playing against Haorong. That's usually when they like to jab to keep momentum. Here we'll use down back 2 just to see if he was crouching, but he wasn't. And then he gets clipped by the end of the sabaki, the punch sabaki. So we go under that string finally instead of getting hit by it. Nice little sidewalk. Down back 3. Into 1-2-4. Or sorry, 1-3. So round 3 was pretty straightforward, but I also want to break down this thought process. So I'm playing space control with up forward 3. And then in this position is a typical sequence for jab, right? They will cancel out of this 4-4-4 string. And their legs up like this. Then they'll usually jab. I've seen it a lot. This helps them keep that momentum going. They're much faster than you if they jab. So he did, and then there's my punch parry. Then go straight to the wall from here. Typical wall ender. And then we went for a kind of risky option just to see if he'd crouch. And he didn't. We're going to Oki that. Heat smash goes right over him, which kind of sucked. Finally crouch under that string, and then we can go ahead and sidewalk around his strings as well. So 1-3 to end the round. Pretty straightforward. Okay, on to round 4. The walls are very far away, so we kind of just have to play in each other's faces at this point. Nice little sidewalk. He chose a very slow option. 2-1 cancel. He activates heat. Man, I go for that punch parry. He got clipped by it. It's not really what I wanted though. So this becomes a full combo if he knows how to do it right. He does. Plasma Blade. Doesn't use his heat for some reason. More delayed options for me. And then he really caught me with that. That was really unfortunate. So in this fourth round, he made a lot of really good decisions. I have to play, well, we both have to play space control. And Harong has some really strong buttons. So I'm able to sidewalk around some of them, but not all of them. And he picked up on that. So here's the C activation. I go for that punch parry. He goes for a very delayed option. Thankfully, the punch sabaki can clip you if you're too slow. So there he catches me pressing buttons, and then I just get blown up by this combo. And the way he ends it allows me to get up and start playing. But that being a weak punish was the reason we pretty much lost this round right here. Alright, final round. So there he is moving. That string again is catching me. Plasma Blade, because he read that I would crouch there. That was a super hard read on his part. And it was smart. It was really smart. So there he is using Whiplash at frame 0. Really smart flappy kicks. And he ends that round. Okay, so now we're on the second match of the set. And we did lose that first match of this set. And it's not always a bad thing. You learn every time you lose a round, you learn every time you lose a match. There's always something you can learn. So we learned a lot about this Harong player, so we start putting that to use. Still playing that space again. We've seen him use that advancing attack there. Plasma Blade, we know he's really antsy on that, so we can use that to our advantage as well. Key activation, and then simple ender to end this round. Just to briefly break down this first round, this is nothing that we haven't seen before. Like I was saying, we have data on him now. So we whip that forward 2, back forward 2. He's mashing in between that string, so we'll take it. Heat smash was a smart idea there. Then he tries to frame trap me with that throw, but can beats throw. So, as we know about this player now, he's really trying to punish every attempt with Plasma Blade. And as we know earlier, up 4-3 recovers pretty quickly. So if he's not instantly punishing this, we get to block that Plasma Blade, or we can backdash away from it. So there's that down forward 2 punish. And then the rest of this combo is able to kill him. Okay, moving on to round 2. We finally figure out what the punish is for that. And it's going to help to know that, because I was trying to use while sending 3 before, and it's not that minus. It looks like it would be though. So he didn't crouch after that heat engage, so 1+2 gets blocked. Now he's trying to do his typical pressure with flamingo stance. The biggest thing right here, I'm sorry for pausing so early, but the biggest thing is do not panic. If you panic in a situation where your back is against the wall, Harong is definitely going to blow you up. So as you can see, I am just blocking and trying to step out from this wall, right? And I press one singular button and I get blown up, as you can see. You'll have a much better time just blocking. Down +2, forward 2 to end that round. So breaking this round down, we do actually do the punish properly this time. And a bit of counter hit fishing, and he just walks right around it because he's seen it before, so he has data on me now. He knows that's what I like to do. We get the heat engage. 1+2 does not land. Heat smash to start his pressure, and like I said before, this is where you just don't want to panic. Just chill out, block, sidestep away from the wall. As you can see, I tried to do down back 1-2, which is actually somewhat decent option if you were to press anything that were high, like a jab, but he did not, and he got blown up. Heat smash beat his power crush, and we get our pressure started. He crouches into our mix-up, and there's that second round. Now, getting into this third round, both of us have data on each other. We want to use those reads as soon as possible. Once you get deeper into these rounds and you have more games against each other, it really comes down to who has more data, who can use that data the best. So he whiffs. There's that pressure, that down forward 4 into 2. Very simple sidestep block to get that heat engage to, or heat activation to whip. We're gonna spike, and then we're waiting for him to wake up. We don't want to get too antsy there. Then can, and he floats us right out of it. So Haorong's able to take control in this third round because he is making better reads than I am. And that up forward 3, he was so ready for it because I've been using it. So he's able to punish me, and he got this wall blast, and Oki as well, and it just starts to fall apart really. Go under that throw. While sitting 4 on block gives you a sidestep window. So I'll just show you that one more time. So here, back 1, while standing 4, got blocked. Here's a sidestep window right here. Boom, sidestep, block, and then launch. So if they're going to be silly and activate heat or do something very linear, you will be able to launch them from there. So we flip, we wait, and he again makes that read on that full crouch down forward 2, and he's able to close that round out. Okay, so round 4. I know that he likes to use that low there, so I'm trying to jump over it. I'm not going to abandon up forward 3. There, I recovered fast enough. His whiff punish was just too slow. So 2-3 was not far enough to get to the wall. I'm probably going to heat smash soon. There it is. And he gets around my down forward 1. Break that throw, 1+2. Did not break that one. And that one really hurts too. Try to power crush through the pressure, and down forward 1-2 ends that round. So now we're on to the final match of this set. And it's really getting kind of tough because both of us have data, and we're both using that data pretty well. So my back is against the wall. This is the worst spot to be in against Haorong. Jab check my way out. Open up a parry window since I'm only -1 there. 2-1. Down +2 beats power crush. And then we're kind of putting him in a blender now. So he notices that. Immediate rage art to beat my full crouch down forward 3. Because it takes a minute for that move to come out. So a pretty decent option from his side. Then I try to quickly sidestep around. I was expecting a wall running move. So let's break down this first round. Catches me pressing a button right away. He was super on top of that. Now our back is against the wall. We need to be very patient, or we can parry. So I chose to just jab, block and jab. There's my parry finally coming out there. And then I just want a wall splat, but he didn't crouch. Down +2 beats power crush. And then this is something you'll see me do quite a bit, which is this down +2 loop. The rage art lands as we saw earlier. And then that sidestep is not going to cut it for his heat smash. Okay, moving on to second round. So catches me getting a little antsy while standing 2. Whiplash is such a good move. Down 3, I'm just trying to poke him because I'm just getting mixed way too often right now. Back 3 thankfully saves me there. But he's playing this round really solid. Like, I can't really penetrate him. There I get a while sitting 1+2 on counter because his option was pretty slow there. So there I purposely forward dash to psych him out because he did the rage art last time, remember? So this time it worked. Now let's break down the second round. So I did a 3+4 round start just in case he used a low to start the round out. His Oki is nothing we haven't seen before. and he catches me stepping. I'm poking a little bit, but these are still all losing interactions for me. And we know that he doesn't budge on that up 4-3. So back forward just to see if he'd mash. He doesn't. And I think this round went so well because he tightened up his offense. He's not being as loose. But there he was being loose by canceling his power crush, and I immediately had an option ready for him. So there I do a forward dash into, I believe this is like a forward dash into a crouch. No, forward dash into a sidestep right. Right, just to make it look like I'm about to do something, but I was just waiting for the rage art. Okay, on to the third round. There you can see Hwarang's playing so delayed because he knows he's in my head a little bit. And I really should just be jabbing or mid-checking, right? You don't want to play those mind games with your opponent. So there, I call out the high. I had a good read there. Key activation, spike, and then flip with 4-3+4. Called him out for staying on the floor. We get a nice sidestep window there, but I just wasn't fast enough to punish the key activation. So on this third round, it was going great. It was going great, and then some things happened. So, beginning of this round, Hwarang was dashing in my face because he knew I didn't want to respond to his neutral. So here's him countering me for being patient, which really just signals to me that I need to start jabbing or parrying. So there, I'm clearly seeing that he's going for another delayed option. He's very jab heavy, very throw heavy, so there's my down back 2. Upward 1-2, heat activation, and spike here, and he stays on the floor, so we get another 4-3+4. There was a window where I could have punished him here, but I missed it, so really unfortunate, and that leads to me losing this round. Okay, on to round 4. And it's not looking too good for me right now. But down back 4-3 caught him because he was mashing a string that was high. So we get the full payout for this one. Spike to break the floor, spike again, flip. And then he stays on the floor, so I really should have did the flip again. Down 1 to get through that pressure. And I think he read the heat smash here. So rage art was pretty smart. Thankfully, I'm in the air, so it's not going to do too much damage. Wake up while standing, wake up mid, and 2-2-1-2. Now, on to this final round. It's very tense. None of us want to press. But he's better at space control than I am, clearly. Back forward because he was walking in my face again, which means his next button's going to be delayed. So any forward movement delays your option by quite a bit. There's a frame trap. He's mashing. There he is mashing again. And we get to spike and flip. One more interaction from dying. Down back 3 to end the set. Now this next match is against Armor King. So Armor King's more of a striker than a grappler, but he does have those special throws that can catch you off guard. For example, his giant swing comes out at 10 frames instead of 12 frames like everyone else. And right there, it caught me off guard. So it's also ambiguous. You're not going to know really if it's a giant swing or if it's another throw. Alright, so just playing neutral again. Controlling space. Down 2, contesting space. Forward 2-1, contesting space. I just don't want Armor King just to walk up and run his mix, right? There's very small pokes. Random back 3, I get punished for that. And then he catches me with that. If I stand up, I just have to get hit by that. Okay. On the second round. Down 2. Down forward 1-4. So you can see I'm kind of worried. You can even see it in my movement. I'm kind of worried about what's going to happen next. So finally a counter hit. He starts up his Cobra Clutch. And the break for Cobra Clutch is 2. So if you don't press 2, you have to guess the rest of the chain. There's that power crush. So let's look at this second round. So the round starts with me just going for a back 4. And really there's nothing wrong with something like this, but just know that you can get counter hit. And then I did down back 4. Another kind of risky technique, but at this rank, people aren't really expecting you to do this, so it kind of works more often than it doesn't. Normally, I'd preach against this, right? Then I do some more space control with down 2, and then I do a mid check with down forward 1. So if you can get your mid range to look more like this, you'll have less time guessing and more time controlling the space. And in fact, down forward 1 counter hit Armor King out of his next attack. Go under his dark upper. Random hop kick from him, so absolutely punish that. I was a bit shallow on down 1+2. So right there, I'm supposed to press 2 to break that Cobra Clutch. So I get hit by the rest of the chain. And then I have to get up blocking. There's no way I can mash there. So the Power Crash just catches me. Alright, on to the third round. So I get caught by the sweep, and it was just because I was pressing. So I really need to be playing more tight against this Armor King. Otherwise, his mashing is going to keep catching me. So I got to mash 2 to get out of that one there as well. Calls out my can. Down back 1-2 finally lands. I get some health back. So I called him out for crouching with forward 1+2. Unfortunately, I did drop that combo though. Heat smash lands. Trying to cover any mashing wake up since he's been mashing, but he didn't this time. Power crush through his pressure. Down back 3. So let me walk you guys through round 3. And it looks like I was just going for a back 3 here, so this is probably why I got hit. I don't really like to gamble at round start, but sometimes I will if I have a feeling that something's going to work. But it's just never a consistent thing, so just know that. You can mash 2 to get out of this if you're wondering. This has been something that's kind of haunted me for a while until I did my research. So I'll go ahead and show you real quick. Mash 2, you'll get right out of that. So he gets his back 1-2 into a mix-up. I block and can. He blocks my can. So at this point, I have a feeling he's going to crouch. I don't really have any definitive data, but it's also uninterruptible if I go for forward 1+2. So you have to weigh your options here. I didn't have a super hard read, but I went for it anyway. So at this point, I went for the heat smash. Again, trying to cover any mashing wake ups, but he didn't mash, so we have to take note of that. Power crush, and then down back 3 to end the round. Okay, on to the 4th round. So not committing to that down back 1-2 unless I know it's going to hit. Much easier said than done, by the way. Some ambiguous pressure going on, canceling a lot of strings. Not finishing it sometimes, and sometimes I am. Keeping it very unpredictable. Alright, so that's probably going to hurt. Roll out of that stop at the right time. You can definitely get around that. Yeah, so he's probably going to take me to the wall. But he has heat, so as his heat fizzles out, there he is. There's the heat dash. Down +2, forward 2, end that round. So there's some tech I want to look at in this round, mostly offensive tech. So here I'm catching his sidestep to the right with up forward 3. And this is pretty consistent. Then I checked him with down back 1. And I failed to hit confirm it, but I did catch him moving again, it looks like. Or mashing. Or crouching. I actually don't know what he was doing here. But we can check it out. So, looks like he was just trying to move. So, we control space with down 2. And control space with while running 1+2. As we've been seeing, he's not really crouching under this either. So, that's pretty good. And then, here's where the ambiguous offense really starts. So, after while running 1+2, up forward 1-2 is uninterrupted. Like, there's no way Armor King can interrupt this sequence here. So, knowing that, instead of committing to this, I cancel it into full crouch down forward 3, in which he does crouch into this. So we get the follow-up. Now he has to wake up. So from here, I can just go for a lower throw, or I can set up another ambiguous sequence of offense. So here I used back 2, down 1+2 cancel, into a back 1+4. So 1-1, up forward 1-2. I don't think he knew the punishment for that. So here he kind of starts making a comeback a little bit, which is worrying me. And it's not a good spot to be feet away from your opponent at all. So here, I honestly just got lucky because this combo wasn't all that great. he wasted his heat, and then his combo kind of fell apart, right? So we took advantage of that with down +2. All right, final round. Down forward 2. Again, sort of kind of gambling against this Armor King. 1-1, up forward 1-2. So now I'm finishing the string. So before I was canceling it, now I'm just finishing it. And it's really hard on the receiving end to tell what I'm going to do next. On that note, he does read my down +2. And I've been doing it at the wall, so it kind of makes sense. So his combo's kind of bunk. Shining Wizard's going to hit the wall. Oh, he tried to do it again. Catches me out the air. I think I was doing maybe a back 3 there. So what went wrong in this final round for me to lose this? Because it started out pretty good. I counter hit him with down forward 2. I got him to the wall. Everything seemed to be okay. And I believe it started right after this combo here. So I did the most I could with Heat Dash. I did my cancel. And it started with this down +2 that he blocked. And I think it was worth trying. But since he's blocked it, we know that maybe he's sensitive to that low. And the next match, we can try and take advantage of that. So now Armor King has his momentum. It's hard to kind of stop him. Here, I wasn't fast enough to break that Shining Wizard. Back on the floor again. Heat Dash to make everything there safe for him. Even though 4-2-1's already safe. And it's plus. He just pokes me out. On to the next match. We need to start making some adjustments. Armor King's getting away with a lot of stuff. It's mostly because I'm taking too many risks. So here we are, just controlling space as we do. Forward 2-3 while sitting 1+2. Very normal stuff. Catches my approach at down forward 3. Still have health to spare, so it's not the end of the world. And he is also kicking me away, so he's resetting neutral. So see, I'm able to get up and get my momentum back. Forward 1+2. Probably gonna spike here. And then OKM with something. Well, this just straight up kills him, so that's nice. Okay, let's analyze the first round. So, after down back 3, if you're the type of person to press the issue after this lands, you can, but it's very dangerous. And in my experience, I've trained myself out of it to just either sidestep block or backdash. As you can see, I just did a backdash into a while sending 1+2. You don't really have a huge advantage, and that space can be a detriment to you. So just a word of caution. So this is very basic space control we're doing. Just don't want Armor King to walk right up. So after this combo, a really good thing happened. Armor King used this variation, the 2 variation, to kick me away from him. So this means his momentum is gone, right? He's kicking me away. He has to run all the way across the screen in order to continue his momentum. So this gives me the ability to get back up and do something. So keep this in mind after you're getting comboed. If your opponent kicks you away or pushes you away across the screen, know that they've now relinquished their momentum and you can start doing things again. So I take full advantage of that, right? I get up and I immediately do while standing forward. Down back 2 was just faster than his next button here. We spike him, and then forward 3+4 ends the round. Okay, on to the second round. So no bite on 2-1 down +2. A little bit of counter hit fishing with down forward 2 and forward 4. Not something you want to do all the time because your opponent can see that and then they can just sit back and whiff punish you, right? So you want to kind of pepper it in. So he gets caught by falling rain, but the angle's weird, so I just spike right away. I should be ducking that forward 2-1. So he made the good read on my step there because I was definitely stepping. So I finally duck out of the forward 2-1. It took so many tries. So this second round was pretty straightforward. There's not really a whole lot to talk about. I was just fishing for things like down 2-1 down +2 to land, and it didn't. So that's fine. You back up, right? Down forward 2 is kind of like a keep out and also a counter hit fish. Because think about this range right here. Think about how dangerous this range can be. So Or is it right here? So if Armor King, and in me, I'm also not in jab range. If I jab right here, I can just show you. Oh, it's already locked into that down forward too. But we are outside of jab range, so our jabs are not going to land. But if Armor King were to press a button, and then I throw out down forward 2, which is safe, I'm pretty much guaranteeing a launch right here. So there's no skin off my back unless Armor King knows this is what I'm doing and he just waits for me to play keep out. So that's where you have to draw the line. Is my opponent ready to punish me, or is he kind of mashing at this range and I can potentially counter hit fish? So we can just go back, and you'll notice this is where I place a lot of my down forward 2s. It's right outside jab range. If he were to kick me and it whiffs, my down forward 2 would now land, even though it wouldn't in this scenario. Then he does a side step to the left after forward 2, and forward 4 catches him because he mashed. So because he mashed, now he gets punished. And I use forward 4 very sparingly, but it's a great move. It really is. So falling rain lands. I immediately spike with forward 1. That gives you some mental stack and actual frames. Catches me with that sweep, messes up his combo, and then he just throws the whole round away with forward 2-1. Okay, round 3. So I get caught by Dark Upper. I'm trying to do space control, but as you can see, he's jabbing me more, so it's hard for me to use moves like down 2. He crouches for some reason, so we get the sidestep 2. We sidewalk to the right, and he just calls out that down +2. And at this point, I really should be adapting to that. Otherwise, it's going to be a detriment moving forward. So he's got the combo down. Not breaking any of these Shining Wizards, sadly. That one, I don't know how I knew that he was going to do that, but I did. We'll go forward. He does Heat Smash, and that just really just leaves me with that one checkmate pixel. So I catch him. The scissor kicks always get me. So let's look at what went right and what went wrong. So I would say a lot of things went wrong on my side, mostly because I'm not breaking the Shining Wizard as much as I should be, especially when he's not switching up his game plan too much. So we get this wall ender, and instead of ending, what I did was I went for a sidestep right to track his side roll left, and then force him to guess on wake up. But he's seen this before, so this really wasn't too hard for him to block and punish. So he takes me to the other wall, throws me down, breaks the floor, activates heat, ends the combo. So I'm going to side roll to my right and try and get parallel with this wall so I don't get wall splat again. And I did achieve that, but I woke up into this Shining Wizard that I did not break. So really unfortunate. From here, I really don't know how I knew he was going to do that, but it worked anyway. So after this Rage Art, let's look at the situation real quick. I'm going to get a little bit of health back. He's going to lose his gray health. We both have Heat Smash and all of our Heat Dash options available. So the situation's more of a scramble at this point. And I need to be the one to really get rid of my heat first so I can represent my mix-up first. But he got his mix-up done because he actually hit me, so I can go back. And here he hit me. And then I wasted time with my Heat Smash, but it's already too late. He's already hit me, and his Heat Smash is coming out already. So I still have my heat, but now I'm only one interaction from dying. So I clip him, but it didn't really matter since he jumped over my down +2. All right, on to round 4. So he's getting used to me with that round start, so that parry was really nice. So he's really good at keeping me in this corner. And now he's mixing up his throws. And Armor King has lots of throws, so you really have to watch his hands. Even if you watch his hands, he can still mix you up. because he has ambiguous throws. So typical wall setup that you guys seen before. And honestly, the heat smash was getting pretty obvious. So Armor King, really, that read wasn't really hard for him either. I'm being way too obvious with how I'm representing that. Okay, lots of tech, lots of interesting interactions in this last round. So, he gets his counter hit. He does this realign combo, and it sort of works out, but he ends it early to try and keep me here at this wall, which worked. And then here he does the tombstone. I lose a ton of health, and I'm just trying to claw my way back up. So let me just show you what happens here. So after this wall standing 1+2, if I go straight into forward 2, I'm pretty much jousting that my move is faster than his. Or I'm hoping that the next move that comes out is a high. So since I'm nearly dead, I'm okay taking this risk. If it pays off, it was all worth it. So I do get the launch. So here, if he holds up at the wrong time, he gets hit by full crouch down forward 3. And then I set it up again since he's waking up. Again, that rage art that we looked at. Now at this point, I am knowing that if he runs up and tries to press, while standing forward will beat him after this rage art. He just doesn't have enough time. Rage art keeps you stuck for a little bit. And if you found that you're getting hit after doing a rage art on someone, this is why, right? You're pretty much stun locked during that animation. Even after it's over, it delays your next button. So I'm taking that opportunity with while standing 4 and trying to salvage this round from that. And also another small technique, down 4 allows you to sidestep left or right. So after down 4 lands, I take the opportunity to sidestep right, beat the dick jab, and then there's the match. Alright, so this next match is Asuka versus Kazuya. So this is a matchup that's pretty commonly on my channel, and I approach it pretty much the same way every time initially. Mid check to keep out wave dash, down forward 1 to keep out electric, especially at round start. And it's just good to have because it's really just a guessing game with the Mishima, so you want to try to mitigate that as much as you can. So he gets his back turn off axis combo. He's wave dashing, and I have to guess there, right? So that's really a tough situation. Down +2, forward 2, and then we catch him mashing on wake up. So to analyze this first round, we can see that the mid check beats electric. And if I was just a tad slower, I would have gotten launched. But that's the idea of counter hitting, right? You have to be the first one. Then down forward 1 is pretty much a frame chop at this point. And he did mash into it. So it's pretty just keep out. It's really all it is just keep out. Can beat whatever wave dash option he wanted to use there. Can isn't a catch-all, but it's one button we can press to get rid of those mix-ups. So after I have to wake up, that is something that you can't mid-check your way out of, right? If you're waking up, you just have to guess. And then while running 1+2, we'll beat that while standing 4 wake up from him. All right, on to round 2. So there's that electric. I have to be careful because you can see how he's moving back and forth really quickly. He's kind of feinting the electric and playing with the timing a little bit, so it's not as obvious when he's going to do it. So that's pretty much a mark of a Mishima player right there. You can tell his movement's pretty good. So he ducks, then he gets up and hits me on the side. So I ended up struggling quite a bit in the second round, and it really came down to Kazuya having better timing. He was really just out timing me the entire time, and that electric was really well placed. So I try and roll away from the wall, I guess, right, thankfully on that mid, and I just really need to be walking out of this wall. Me not breaking this throw pretty much sealed the deal for this round. So one interaction from dying, and there you go. All right, on to round 3. So more counter hit fishing. This time I called out the electric because he's pretty confident in using it, and that parry will do a pretty good job. As you can see, he was pressuring that wave dash right there, and I just jabbed him out. There's no reason I need to just hold that and respect it. So forward 1, very ambiguous offense there. Let's take a look what happened here, because this is a pretty good example of what to do against the Mishima especially when they're playing very Mishima-like. I'm waking up. I don't really have a choice to mash here. So I do one backdash, and then I jab. It looks like he jumped. Maybe that was an accident. But the jab got him out of whatever button he was pressing there. Took him to the wall. And then ended this combo with a reset instead of 1+4, 2-4. And this is just picking a different route to end the combo. I want to start the sequence of pressure instead of just ending it and trying to do Oki. So after this forward 1, I go straight into down 1+2. So I'll show you what that whole sequence looks like. Forward 1, down 1+2. And that is something you cannot mash out of because forward 1 is a hard knockdown. So he had to guess that. I get the follow-up flip over, and then I have to make him guess again. So very quickly, I'll show you the movement here. After the flip over, I follow his tech roll to the left by doing a side step to my right, and then setting up forward 1. So at worst, he doesn't wake up, and my forward 1 whiffs. At best, it lands, and then an average scenario like this, I get some chip damage if he blocks it. So he tried to move out the way, up forward 1-2 caught him, and then now he's just in the blender. Okay, round 4. So it looks like he had a misinput there. Forward 3 to control space is doing a pretty good job in this round. He's not respecting the cancels though, so we can see that. Back 3 to respond to the wave dash. No reason for me to sit there and guess that one. So I was holding that window open for the electric, and he was just not. He's not having it. So I'm going to have to eat this entire combo. 78 damage, and then he didn't take the Oki opportunity, so I get to play the game again. There he is wave dashing. Now let's take a look at round 4. So he's looking for that electric. He had a little misinput there. He did a side step to the right on wake up. Forward 3 is going to cover all those wake up kicks. It's going to cover sidestep left. It's going to cover sidestep right. Even if they side walk, it'll catch it. So he gets counter hit, so I get this guaranteed follow up. And then I do my up forward 1-2 cancel, as you can see here, but he's on to me, right? As soon as I go down, he's immediately jabbing me out the mix up. So he knows a thing or two. And then he starts pressuring that wave dash and making it as ambiguous as possible. But I don't care about his timing, right? I'm just going to press something because whatever he does, if I'm faster, I'm going to win anyway. A good Mishima probably would wave dash and stop. And I think he does make the adaptation like later, but now I'm probably going to do something like this. So the combo wasn't the best. Clearly that parry window didn't work either. And just a crazy sidestep right electric, and it was set up very intentionally. So I'll show you how he set this up. So after 1-3, his 1-1 lands. Sorry, his 1-1 gets blocked. This gives him a window to step to the right and do an electric. So he takes that. So I jab, and this is exactly what he wanted. So beware of that window that Mishimas have from 1-1. They all have it, by the way. So he's on to me. He knows my tricks there, and he wave dashes into up forward 1-2. Okay, second match in the set. Okay, so he starts around down forward 2. He was hoping that I was doing something really slow. That time I wasn't. Walk here to the wall, down 2-1, down 1+2. Super good movement from him to get out of that wall situation. You can tell he's a true Mishima player. So jabbing, and there is the feint that I was talking about in the first match. So I knew it was coming because he saw that I was responding to his wave dash, and he's able to stop it. So in this first round, I think this is a good example of what happens when a Mishima starts to adapt to the counterplay. So after I get him to this wall, 2-1 down +2, do the charge, and then he gets under the high of up forward 1-2, and then he moves all the way around, which is crazy, that movement. So of course I can't mash here while I'm waking up. Back 3 doesn't land, he can't punish it. And then there was that kind of stutter step he did. So he's realizing now that I'm responding to his wave dash. There's the parry. He waits out the window. Then he does the hell sweep. So there's some more kind of ambiguous timing there. And a really good block on down +2. Okay, on to round 2. Factory lands. He was mashing something, so he got hit. Gonna do the same hard knockdown we've been doing. Go low this time. He uses that to sidestep out of the wall again. So really good usage of movement. Break that 1+2 throw. That was the headbutt. Forward to 1+2 becomes safe with the install. And we're going to catch that electric. So very risky though. And he catches the sidestep right down +2 again. And I don't know if he's reacting to it or he's just anticipating it. But he's really good at blocking that. So we need to keep that in mind. Upward 3. Down back 4-4. Counter hit fishing. And there you go. So now we're adapting to his counterplay. So this is what VDX would consider like a layer 2 of the match. Is now I've shown my offense, he's shown his offense, he's adapted to my offense, and now I have to adapt to his counterplay. So this is kind of where high level Tekken can become complicated. So there's that electric. We know it's coming now, so we don't really walk in too far. We don't want to mash too much. There's the electric again, and then there's the parry. So this is really just mostly making reads on both sides, right? He's seen my sidestep right down +2 as well at the wall. So we're both making reads on each other at this point. And this is the second match as well, so we both have data. So there's that down back 4. And I want to talk about this because I would never want someone at like Fujin or Bushin or even in the middle to use down back 4 the way I did it here, because it's just going to get low parried, right? The reason it's working now is because at this rank, normally you'd only just do down back 4 and then stop because your opponent thinks that you're not crazy enough to finish it, right? So once you get to this rank, you can start playing like you wouldn't play at this rank, if that makes sense. And down back 4-4 can work against certain players. He was expecting me to not be as crazy as I was here. This gives you a full combo, but you can be low parried for it. Okay, next round. Round 3. So there's that electric again. Down back 3, but I'm being careful about the usage because electric will easily beat that. Reset the combo again. And just there it is. There's that sidewalk. So I need to get out the wall now. So I'll side to the right. And then there's that 1+2 break again. He's keeping me at the wall so good. I have not left the wall. Okay, so 1+2 lands, and this should be a pretty easy combo ender. So thankfully, Asuka's playstyle is kind of like Brian's, where you just have to hit just a few moves to get the whole round on your side. So here, I kind of mashing. I was okay using forward 2 because I had the install ready to go, just in case it was blocked. And again, he sidewalks around, and this is stage awareness, right? So he has better stage awareness than I do, really. He does the wave dash, I break the 1+2 throw, and now he knows the hell sweep is going to be very useful because I have to guess. He doesn't have to cover any ground at this point. He's already in my face. 1+2 beats that hell sweep because I was just a little faster than him, and there is that round. Okay, on to round 4. So just don't panic. I panicked. There's the hop kick. And he dropped the combo, thankfully. So he's really getting confident with his wave dash now because he sees I'm starting to respect it a little bit because I'm a little worried about it. Now he can see that. He can smell that fear. So I'm kind of mimicking it in a different type of way. Okay, so let's analyze this 4th round and final round. There was a lot of things happening. So after this very obvious whiff punish, thankfully Kazuya just dropped the combo. And then he did something really interesting. Instead of doing a regular old wave dash, he does a wave dash that's very staggered. So watch. Right here, you can see how the wave dash stops and then it starts. That's just to throw the timing off of his next mix-up. And again, like I preached, there's no way you're going to guess this properly. especially against a Mishima who's this clean. So just mid-check them. The worst that can happen is they're faster than you. At least you tried, right? At least you tried instead of staying frozen and then getting mixed. So we get the down forward 1-2 to land. And then I dash into his face, and that's also to throw off timing. Nothing too crazy here, really. He just stands and blocks, so this is nothing crazy for him. But I do call out his jab with down back 1-2. Down +2, forward 2. And then we're just stacking on the frames at this point. So he could... well, actually, he's not able to press anything, right, at this point. So after his heat engager, he can't press, right? So I use that. We both do a sidestep left. And then I use down +2. He's going to tech roll, and then I'm going to use that time to set up while running 1+2. So now I'm +11, and I can do another mix-up. And instead of taking advantage of the mix-up right then and there, I use the expectation of him knowing that I'm +11 and mess with my timing now. So you can see how I do those small little dashes to try and get him to crouch or to mash. This time he didn't. But it was worth a try. Then we end the round with up forward 1-2. So there's a set. In this next set, it's going to be Asuka versus Steve. Now, this player I remember really struggling against after winning the first match. So I'll show you what that kind of looks like when I'm winning. And then the next two matches, I'll show you what it looks like when I'm really struggling and why. So he does a little sidewalk, launches me. I get up while standing forward, and he steps me again. So this means that Steve understands when to do a non-jab centric sidestep. And that just requires knowledge. That requires knowledge on frames. We counter him with down forward 1-2. Try and kind of cover any like low or mid wake up kick. Nothing. So now I'm doing a little bit of keep out, up forward 3, back 3. And then I get counter hit out of up forward 3. So that was intentional. Steve was clearly calling out my up forward 3. And it was either mid or low there. So I went for a low parry. So after this rage art, I'm thinking I get some health back. We get to stop time for a little bit because there's only 11 seconds left. So this is a comeback opportunity. So walk right up to him, back 2 down +2 charge into down forward 3. So this first round is a good hint at what actually starts to go wrong later on. But you'll see I poke him with 1-3. He steps right out of the way. And in fact, he walks all the way around to launch me. And that particular sequence is not something that you can interrupt if he gets your back. So here, while standing forward, was just kind of be a simple mid-check. But again, he knew that there's a sidestep window right here. So he takes advantage of that with sway. And then I get punished. So he ends up mashing into that string. He probably didn't think I was crazy enough to finish it. Inner strength was just useless there because he's not waking up with buttons. So that's something I should have scouted a little earlier. So this keep out we talked about. Not very effective right now because he's not doing anything. So he catches me up forward 3. Get that low parry into the rage art. And like I said earlier, when you're in a position like this, you do want to rage art because you want to stop the time so you can try and make a comeback. So if there's a opportunity to do this and the time's running out, you absolutely should. So then we just do this simple little charge mix up here. And he ends up crouching. All right, on to the second round. So we do the punch parry. And as I mentioned in every Steve match that we go over, punch parry is really your best friend against Steve because all he does is jab. But you have to be careful because he has elbows and he has jumping attacks. So you really want to be careful. All right, so he blocks my down +2. He's punishing me for that. So what I want to do is get away from this wall because there's a hazard right behind me. As you can see, I'm trying to move around it. Heat smash. Again, no buttons from him waking up. And now I'm just kind of in whiff punishment mode. So there's my punch parry, and I totally mess up that combo. But he finally crouches or something, and I get my inner strength. So this second round is a bit more straightforward. I represent punch parry a little bit more than I did in the first round. In fact, I don't think I used it at all in the first round. And you can see the value in it, right? But the value starts to go away as soon as Steve adapts. Then you have to adapt. So he calls out my sequence there. Combos me as usual. Activates heat. Now he has to cover that ground, which is pretty easy for him. Gotta get away from the wall always. Really use that lateral movement to move away from that wall. So there's another punch parry. And this time he did wake up the inner strength. Okay, round 3. So he's actually adjusting his timing. It's very subtle, but you'll notice his timing starts to get much more ambiguous as the set goes on. There he gets his unblockable. And now he's playing mind games because he knows that I can't mash there, so I'm not. But he's using that extra time and mental stack to add a bit more damage onto his sequence. So my Rage Art, I don't think he mashed. Oh, he did. He did. We survived. Barely, barely. In fact, that is the end of this round with this Rage Art. Pretty sure. Yep, that's it. So let's move on to the next match. Alright, this is the second set. And this is where I really start to struggle because Steve starts to adjust. So we'll see how he does that. So there I'm representing punch parry. Doing the same keep out that I've been doing. Same punch parry that I've been doing since the first match. Activate heat and try and break this wall, which I did. And looking for an Oki, of course, very patient wake up from him. So there's that little mind game of, is he going to do the low? Is he going to do the mid? And I'm patient enough to where he's able to stack those lows. So a little sidestep window there. As you can see, he's really not trying to press the issue in the mid-range. He's just waiting for me to mess up. Okay, let's analyze this round because Steve is starting to get some steam. So I start with while running 1+2. He started to be a bit more patient because he's realizing that I'm starting to throw more mids into my pressure sequence. Activate heat, break this floor, or break the wall. So here, down forward 3 allows me to Oki him, even though I don't have many hits in this combo left. So down forward 3 allows me to run all the way up, and then he has to guess at this point, right? He doesn't have a choice. So I choose down back 3. Either he stays on the ground and gets hit, or he stands up and hits the low, or gets hit by the low. So there. And this is the mind game I was talking about, right? He's using peekaboo stance to really stack that mental stack. And then the moment I finally make the read to go down and crouch, he punishes me. So heat smash. Keep it simple with a throw. And of course he's going to break that. As you can see, his movement is just watching to see what I do. And there's that first match. Okay, so on the second round, I have to really respect the fact that he's respecting me. So now I'm looking for his mess ups and his mistakes. So there he was being a little careless. Board 2 is ready to go, always. And he walks right out of the wall. So you notice his movement, very subtle, but he got out of this wall cleanly, and I shouldn't have allowed him to do that. So here, you can see him do this sidestep left, and now he's parallel with this wall behind me. We're almost parallel, which is a really good place to be, right? He doesn't have to worry about getting wall comboed or the wall pressure anymore. And that's just situational awareness. But what I should be doing when I see this window of opportunity for him to step, I'll take control here. I do a sidestep right. And you see how that keeps him right nice and flat with the wall here. So now I can pressure him into the wall. That's what would happen ideally. But I didn't, right? I sidestepped left, so that actually helped him go more parallel with the wall. So heat smash to go into that low. Just such a clean like whiff punish on that forward 3. And he was waiting for it. So the Gatling punches. And Firefox Fury. That move is still good even after the nerfs. Such a great move. It's a pretty crazy combo. Break that throw. And 1-2-1. Okay, so let's really see why I'm struggling, because there's so much happening in this round that's causing me to struggle. So after this combo, my momentum was good, but I didn't have the awareness at the time that Steve was using a very sneaky tactic to get parallel with this wall, and I did not pick up on it. So like we talked about earlier, I should be doing a side step right after I get hit here, or a side walk right to keep him flat with this wall and not allow him to alleviate the threat here. So there's really no threat to him anymore. This is just regular old neutral, whereas he could be pinned against his wall. So that was my situational awareness mistake. So now I'm getting comboed because of that one mistake. This is why I am very precise and I split hairs when it comes to teaching at this rank. There's only so many interactions in a round, right? There might be 10 and the round's over. Whereas like in Mighty Ruler, there might be 50 where you can kind of make some mistakes. So every interaction counts. So you really have to think about what every small interaction is going to have an effect on the next interaction. All right, on to round 3. So you can see I'm trying to be a bit more careful at this mid-range, but he's just so on top of it, right? He's controlling the space so well. All right, toe stomp. He's going to do the unblockable. That one you can't really react to. I mean, I guess you could train yourself to do it, but it's really difficult. So I'm playing a bit more patient because I realize I'm just getting counter hit at this range all the time. Down back 1-2, get some health back. I finally get him with a down 1+2. And then there he is, right? Poking me right out of the air. That was supposed to be a heat smash. Okay, in this next match, it is Asuka versus Law. Now, this is a pretty even matchup. I would say slightly favored towards Law since he has better mix-up potential. But we also have parries, so parries help against Law a little bit. So, inner strength lands. Try and get him to the wall. Up forward 1-2. Forward 1+2. Then very awkward wall carry. I think that might have been a misinput. And then I should have dashed before I did down forward 3 to get that to connect. There's heat smash. So since round 1 went by so quickly, let's actually analyze what really happened. So we break that throw, and there is a window to step here. So this is very underrated. Some people know this, some people don't. After I break this throw, I'm +2. So you'll notice that Law jabs me, and he actually doesn't have the ability to do so if I would have played within my frames. So watch, I'll take control real quick. And there's my jab. See how I'm faster than his jab? So this is something that is worth noting because you can start to make people mash into you and not hit anything because they don't know this window exists. So I get rid of those. Step around him, try to throw him. And 2-1 down +2 lands, so I kind of just see if full crouch down forward 2 would work. Inner strength lands. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason behind it. Parry, and then this down forward 3 whiffs. So this happened because I didn't do a dash. So if I take control, you do a little dash, and then that will connect. But finally get our heat engager. He parries, and then I heat smash. Okay, second round. So a bit overzealous with the mid kick sabaki. I don't really know what I was looking for there, but it really hurt me, right? That was a big punishment for that. So his slide whiff somehow. That's another string you can parry right there, but I did not do it. So I'm trying to just cover his wake ups with inner strength. Honestly, I should be using lows though. Way more lows. Finally gets his throw to work. And then he drops the combo. And then he throws me again. That's a 1 break though. If you ever struggle with that throw, that is a 1 break. So even though I lost the second round, I'm going to show you guys some anti-Law tech because this is stuff you can use against anyone who plays Law, right? So we'll kind of skip through this part here. Do this down to mid check. I fail at punishing that slide. Okay, so here is some anti-Law stuff there, so you can punch parry that string. And then we flip them. First we parry them right there. And then there is one more string that you can parry. I'll see where I can find it. I believe it was after this one. Ah, it was this throw right here. So this I'm a Dragon throw, if you mash 1, it will get him off of you. So the problem with a throw like this, from someone, especially like a newer player who just started with Tekken 8, when the consensus is which arm grabs you is how you break it, Law is just walking up onto you, right? So there's nothing to tell you how to break this, but it is one. It's a very annoying throw to deal with. It always has been. So that string there, you can mid-kick Sabaki that last part, so I'll show you. Right, and that can become a full combo. On around 3. So a bit of counter hit fishing from both of us. He whiffs his down forward 2, so punch him with back 3. Wall optimization kind of sucked there, but there I did the sidewalk right and another sidewalk right to stay on axis with Law. He's just kind of standing around. And heat smash to end the round. So I want to show you guys in this third round why it was hard for Law to retaliate after he got knocked down here. So after this combo, like I said, this 2-3 was not for this range, right? So the combo just drops right away. But I realized this, so I immediately side walk to the right. Remember how in this last match, Steve was able to get away from the wall because I was walking in the wrong direction? This time I'm walking to the right and Law is rolling to the left. So I'm perfectly on axis with Law and he has to guess again, even though he tech rolled. So I go low and then he has the ability to tech roll again. So I sidestep right, and I probably actually should have side walked here, but now he is about parallel with the wall and he guesses again, right? So he guesses wrong. Forward 1 lands. This becomes a mini combo. He wakes up again. So I'll show you after this knockdown. He tech rolls to the left, and this allows me to force him to guess. This time I use wall running 1+2, puts me at +11. Inner strength is uninterruptible. If Law were to mash here, he just dies. So that's a risk I'm willing to take. Well, it's not really risky for me, but if it gets blocked, right, my momentum falls apart. So that's why I backdash away from him. And then he smash lands. On to round 4. So now we got to break this floor. That's the first thing you want to pay attention to once you get into these hazards. Floor blast hazards. Just be the first one to break the floor. So the spike breaks the floor. Spike him again. 3+4 because I want to do this charge setup there. Down back 2. I honestly wasn't ready for that move to land, if I'm being honest. Alright, so let's analyze this last round of the match. So it looks like Law was trying to do a full crouch mix-up, and I just hit him with up forward 3, which covered pretty much everything from there. Do the heat activation and then spike because I want to break that floor as soon as possible. 3+4 allows me to do the forward 2 cancel and then do something, right? So my something was a full crouch down forward 3. And again, this is just a winning interaction because whether he gets hit or not, he still loses health. So there I frame trap with up forward 1-2. And I go under his throw with down back 2, which has honestly lots of evasion. You can see it right there. Go right under that throw. Drop the combo, but still went under the throw nonetheless. Mashes on 2-1 down +2. And then we get that first match. Second match against this Law player. So we're not going to switch up our game plan. What we've been doing is working. So we'll just keep to that. I could have optimized that a lot, but that was kind of a fail. It was a good sidewalk though. So back 3 was faster than his attack there. Optimized for the wall. Using back 1+4 to catch a tech roll. He didn't quite do that, but still worked. So now I'm getting antsy, right, when I wake up, and that was kind of the issue there. Oh, so he took a huge risk there, so that was an easy win. So not really a whole lot to talk about in this first round, but I do want to talk about that back turn situation that happened later on in this round. And this one too, right? So I'm going to show you why I was very disappointed in the way I went about this. Because back 2-1, while they're back turn, just throws them away, right? This is not what we want at all. What you really want to do when you get someone's back, I'll show you. We go around, right? And then we press back 2-4-1. So I'll sidewalk around like that, right? So that doesn't allow Law to turn around. You get everything there. But since I did back 2-1, it just completely fell apart, right? We do not want that to happen. So it looked like that, right? Then we get the full combo, up forward 1-2. You could do up forward 1-2 again, heat activation, so on and so forth. Keep that in mind if you get someone's back. Do not do what I did here, because I think I don't even think I was ready for this. But I should have been. Okay. There's one more back turn situation I wanted to look at that I actually did do properly. So after this, I do back 1+4. Puts you at +5, which throw is a frame trap there. And then I get knocked down, but the way this wall is allowed me to roll behind him. And now I can use a wall standing 2-1. So notice how I have Law's back right here. If I use wall standing 2-1, both of them are going to hit his back. But also if I use down back 1-2, that becomes guaranteed. So watch, Law's going to attempt to turn around. See? He attempted it, but he still got hit. He does not have enough time to block this because his character has to waste time pretty much turning around, which allows you to get this down back 2-1 guaranteed. So you'll see this in my games a lot. It's honestly one of my favorite ways to punish people when I get their back and I don't have much time to set something up. All right, round 2. So he's got some setups. I'm falling for him. Wow, okay, the cameraman's going crazy. So we finally get our punch parry. Forward 1+2, activate heat, keep him in this corner pinned. And now I really want to stack on the ambiguous offense, right? Because that wall's right there. So he catches me pressing something, and this is really going to hurt. So he resets his combo similar to how I would use forward 1. He can reset his like that too. So catches me on up forward 1-2. That was crazy placement of the down forward 2. Catches me a mid check. So the second round looked like it was in my favor because it was, and then I made a few mistakes that caused a domino effect to happen. So here, like I said, the cameraman is playing a different game, but while sitting forward lands on his back, that also guarantees up forward 2-1. This is such an obscure situation, but if you do find yourself landing this wake up low, you can get while standing 4 if they don't turn around, and then this becomes guaranteed. Up forward 1-2. Even though it doesn't say it's a combo, it is guaranteed. Alright, so typical combo seen before. So I'm resetting my combo to keep him perfectly in this corner, right? So he has nowhere to go. Can't go left, can't go right. So I choose to frame trap him, even though he's not mashing. And then I finish this entire string, right, which he probably wouldn't expect me to do. So then he catches me mashing. He went right under the jab, so he made the best possible choice there. I'm stepping right, so I can put him back in this corner. Is exactly where I want him. Then I choose back 1, which is, I don't know why I choose this, because it's too slow. Most people can react to back 1 at this rank, and really its only use is canceling it. So just something like that could be useful into like a throw maybe. Otherwise, I usually advise against back one. And it failed here too, so you can see multiple reasons why I don't care for that move. Canceling would have been really good there though. Gets me a mid check and then he finishes off that round. Okay, round 3. He's not punishing me for up forward 1-2, which is cool. Back 3 lands. I don't know what he was trying to do there, but we were faster. Heat activation. Wow, super jank combo. Mashes through, and then we get this little heat dash, which works, right? Something. He mashes through the frame trap, and then we get the round. So I just want to show you guys some tech. That way you can use it in your games. But this is stuff that I'm using all the time, and it is just effective pretty much at every rank. So here we did what we were supposed to do, right? Sidewalk to the right, so I can stay on axis. I rushed this forward 1. That's why this did not work. So I get punished a little bit. But now I'm in a mix-up situation, so kind of scrambling a little bit. Okay, here's the tech. So here, I'll go back to it. Alright, so while standing 2 into 1+2. So now I'm in Destabilizer. This could be a mid or a low. I picked mid, he blocked it, but really, I'm looking for the sidestep after this. Your opponent blocks Destabilizer 2, you can now move around freely. Of course, if the next move tracks in the direction you're going, you're going to get hit, but the odds are in your favor. So, I sidestep right, he's mashing into the void, and sidestep 2 lands, right? From here, we can just kind of keep our pressure going. And then after he gets up, he loses the interaction by blocking this, but I'm also plus, so I can frame trap him if he tries to mash after full crouch down forward 3. So inner strength is kind of like a comfort default frame trap if you aren't sure what to do. I probably wouldn't use something as simple as a down forward 1 because you have enough frames, right? You have enough frames to make this work. A very simple mix-up, very effective for you. Jumping into the 4th round. So as always, try and be the one to break the wall. This case, I got floated. Of course, Law's got his combos, but he dropped it, thankfully. But now I can't break the floor, which kind of sucks. So there, I tried to do some tech there, which actually worked. Down back 1-4 into down forward 2. Has a little bit of evasion in it. That's something I found out in the lab as I was practicing. So down +2, very simple Oki. Make him guess. Okay, let's analyze this last match. So I got floated from doing up forward 3. This is kind of like a habit I'm noticing. Maybe I should chill out with up forward 3 a little bit. And while standing 4 in a power crash, so maybe that's a detriment. But anywho, we hit this down back 1-4. Normally, if you punish this properly, I'm just gonna die every time. But if you jab or you do some sort of high like he did there, you'll go under if you mash down forward 2. So this is some tech I discovered on my own, and I would encourage you to try it out. It's very cheeky, and if your opponent's very antsy and going for those highs, you'll get that launch every time. So down +2 forces him to guess on this knockdown. So he's tech rolling to the right. And if I use a mid here and he's holding back, which he probably is. Yep, you can see there at the top right. He's holding back. So if I use a mid here, that's not going to force him to guess. It's not going to really do anything except cover mid and low wake up kick. But he really hasn't been using it. So force him to guess with a low or a throw. So here it is. Failed my guaranteed follow-up, but heat smash to end the match. Okay, Asuka versus Leo, and this match is pretty much who has the better matchup knowledge and who can press their offense better. It really helps to know Leo's cancels and his stances and how they flow together. That will help you make more decisions. Similar to playing against How Wrong. Right? If you don't know where the gaps are and how around pressure, it seems kind of relentless. So we're going to go ahead and block some of these strings. We covered his low with down back 1-2, but then he just does it again. Covers my wake up with forward forward 2, and then he's just moving right around me. And it's really intentional too. These are not by accident. 1-3 sidestep. We both sidestep. So I think there's a lot of knowledge in this one match we can look at and how the fundamentals really just come into play. So check this out. We're going to do heat activation. 2-1-2 was not the best ender, but we tried to cover it with the inner strength, right? So the trade isn't the best. But in this case, he's waking up. I'm still faster. So if he mashes like this, we get that combo and we get the wall, and it starts with a lot of damage. If he wakes up normally like he did here, I'm plus 11. I get to do a mix-up. So if he mashes, I'll just have him mash real quick. He loses that no matter what, right? At plus 11, my up forward 2 is just going to be his next button, unless it high crushes. Even if it high crushes, actually, because plus 11 is a lot of frames to work with. Then there's a small sidestep window after the up forward 2 is blocked. So I'll show you. I'll just have Leo mash real quick after up forward 2. There you go, right? So if he mashed something that doesn't track to where I'm going, I can get around it. Now, some attacks will track me, right? So see if I can show you that. See how that barely tracked? That's because I had already committed to the sidestep 2. Otherwise, I would have went around it. So we take advantage of that window, heat dash, and then frame trap again. So even though I'm not actually hitting him, you can see, look at his health bar, right? He gets chipped there, he gets chipped there, chipped there, and chipped there, right? It's a little bit of health, but it all adds up. So he goes under my next option. And I'm trying to do my cancels as well, right? I'm trying to get him to hesitate enough to where this 1+2 will start to land. But he's not being as reactive as I want him to be yet. There we are covering that low, and he just does it one more time. And this is another kind of anti-Leo thing. If you see Leo using back 1-2, you can sidestep to the left. So if you weren't already aware of that, this could be very useful for Leo players who rely on back 1-4. They won't be able to do that once you have that knowledge. So he goes around, and I'll show you, this is really interesting as well. So this is how I know this is a high level player. My down 2 gets blocked, right? Turn on the flames real quick. I'm -4. The sidestep window exists right now. So if he sidesteps and I mash, I'm going to die. So I'll show you right now. See? He goes right around it. So I know this because I'm the Asuka player, but he also knows this because he has good matchup knowledge. So he steps. But I also step because I know this window exists as well. So he stays perfectly on axis with me. So there's no threat to him. And I lose my kind of evasion and ability to immediately press a button because he's going to move around it. But you'll notice after this 1-3, I'm 0 on block. And that signals to Leo he can step again. Look what he does. We both step because we both know these frames exist. This is the mark of a good player who has strong fundamentals because he can pick up on these things. And if I didn't know any better and I just mashed a button randomly, watch, I'll show you what that would look like. Oops, sorry. Watch, I'm going to try doing up forward 2. Again, he's just going to step right around it. So just know those windows exist, and if someone's using it against you, it's good to know. On to round 2. We'll go ahead and get rid of these frames. Again, very good movement. Having trouble dealing with that low, I should just be covering it with down forward 1, realistically. So typical pressure from Leo. Nothing I haven't seen before. He gets a little too overzealous, starts mashing, so I slow down my gameplay a little bit, prepare that forward 2. We didn't get the wall like we wanted to, but he tries to step out of my pressure, and that inner strength will catch him. So extend the combo all the way to the wall. There's the round for me. Okay, so there is just a few things I wanted to touch on mostly because this match was pretty average. There wasn't anything crazy that happened. So here he is using back 1-4, and like I said earlier, you don't have to hold that, right? You can step to the left. But I held it because I don't think I was ready for it, to be honest. Covering the wake up with a 1+2. Never let your opponents get up for free. And then after this whiff punish, I want to talk about this situation. So up forward 1-2, heat activation. Up forward 1-2, down forward 3. So after this charge, again, he doesn't have to get hit by this. He just has to block it. This puts me at +8. So at +8, if Leo attempts to step, it's going to be very delayed, which will allow inner strength to land. So that's what he committed to. He committed to that step, and he doesn't really have enough frames to do so. And then there's our combo right here, and then we could finish this combo out to get the round. Up forward 3, 1+4. Okay, next round. So now I'm stepping around this low because I'm really just sick of it at this point. Down back 1-2. I'm just trying to cover that low that he's really relying on. It's giving him so much value. There he is flowing through his stances. All right, so it's good to know that he can do all of this stuff. So I pressed at the wrong time there. Okay, since I got steamrolled at the wall from the stances, let me show you how this would actually go down if you were being a bit more aggressive. Normally, you don't want to take too much risk at the wall, which is why I'm being pretty passive. But there are some small windows that exist, so I can show you. So watch this. So here, he can go into stance. I can do a down forward 1, and I will catch him coming back up. So watch. Right? If I delay it just a little bit, we can float him out. So that is pretty useful to know. This as well, right? He's +9 going into this. So if you mash, you lose. So I mashed, so I'm definitely going to lose that. Okay, let's look at round 4. So he got a little overzealous again. We're able to whiff punish him. This is nothing crazy. This is what Asuka's good at, right? Whiff punishment. Straight to the wall. And of course, I'm trying to get that inner strength to work, but I'm realizing now I probably should have adapted to him staying on the floor. So in hindsight, that's really what I should have been doing. Up forward 1-2. And this combo specifically for that heat dash combo, so don't expect that to work if you try and replicate it. There he is flowing. Break that throw. I know that there's a throw window there. Do believe he caught me using back 3 there, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a tough one, right? That is uninterruptible. So let's just go back real quick. So watch this. So he uses forward 4. He's +9 if he heat smashes. And I press anything at all, I die. So nothing will save me right there. So he knew that. So let's go back forward. 1-1-3. Can catches me, and that is a full combo. So on to the next match. And the good thing about looking at a loss like that, I'll go ahead and turn these frames off real quick, is that we can learn how to adapt from that loss, right? Just because you lose doesn't mean like you suck or you're never going to rank up again, right? It's just you learn something from it. It's always experience. So we got onto the wall. We're going to do our hard reset. Pretty typical setup that we do. There he is using down back 4-1, and oof, that is just such a good sweep. We go under his throw there with down back 1-2. The punish is weak, and we get to break the throw. So he gave me a bone there. Go ahead and set it up that charge. Back 1-4. This time we can't sidestep left because the wall's right there. So we need to just walk away from this wall. I need to be sidestepping right. But I'm not, so that might be to my detriment right now. And it is right there. So we can kind of call out things before they happen. And it really is just a matter of being aware. So in the last part of this round, I wasn't aware enough to see that I just needed to run away from that wall to increase my chances at winning the round. After this reset, should be a low or a throw since he's clearly holding back and not in a big rush to mash on wake up. Something you really need to consider. If you don't, it'll end up looking like this, right? You use a mid and then it's awkward and then your opponent takes their turn back. That's something that I teach as well. And now I'm seeing it in my own gameplay every once in a while. So hindsight's always 20/20, but just stick to your guns and you'll have an easier time playing the game. Just keep it simple. So we're gonna break that throw. We chased him down with forward 2, 1+2. Or I press 1+2 to get that to work, but you don't have to. So here's kind of where I meet my demise, right? Because the wall's right behind me. I had all this time to step away from the wall, and I did that one little sidestep, and that was it. So now Leo can just pressure that wall splat. And he eventually got it, right? Right here. So that's that first round. Moving on to round 2. Getting baited by his stance. Back 3 lands on counter hit. You know exactly what we do here. Straight to the wall. Always a priority. Did about half his health. I actually called him out this time for staying on the floor and being as ambiguous as possible with my offense. Go under his throw and throw him. I do believe this combo should kill. Oh, nope. He dropped. Then he mashed. All right, let's analyze the second round. So I got baited, but the back 3 landed, right? So of course we're going to prioritize for the wall as we always do. And this route is pretty consistent. We're close enough to the wall here where down forward 3 is going to be a perfect wall splat. Right? So he lands perfectly. This will allow me to get all of 1+4, 2, 4 down. And we do half his health. So that's a good interaction for us. We know he's either going to stay on the floor or do something kind of delayed. And he did, right? He did a kip up right here. So I put him back onto the wall. And I know he's going to tech roll again. That's what he's been doing. So he tech rolls to his left, so I step to my right. This will keep him on axis, or as on axis as we can be to the wall. And now he's slowly starting to become parallel with it. So you'll notice, in order to kind of fix the situation and keep him fully pinned, after this jab, I'm doing a sidestep to the right, and then I'm doing my heat dash because I really want him as flat as I can to the wall. But of course we're parallel. I go under his throw and I use Asuka's falling rain throw to punish this. And that's down back 1+2 while you're crouched. After this, it was pretty basic. He mashed on the string. All right, round 3. Caught me with down back 1-4. Trying to pick my battles with that sequence there, because you really don't want to just meaninglessly mash into him, because you will lose. He has lots of plus frames. Go ahead and spike. Follow up the knockdown with something. Always. Heat Smash goes over his heat activation, so that was pretty cool. This round was pretty average. There's no like crazy special tech that happened. There is a small gap in between his pressure right here where he goes down and then up. So that's where you can insert your attack. And I believe we looked at that earlier on. So this is also not a typical setup. He stays in full crouch after hitting this low, then does full crouch down forward 3. And this will be a stagger low. So he will stagger if you block it. You can get a full launch. And that launch is pretty strong. So it's going to do quite a bit of damage. So I think we did at least 90 here. Yeah, 94. He does a side roll. He tries to get up. We catch him on the wake up. And then, yeah, we are just too high for his heat activation to land. So Asuka's just going to come straight down because technically there's an invisible wall above Leo. That's why we're not getting over him. So we just come straight down. On to round 4. Okay, his down 2's such a great move from Leo. Crushing out that mix-up, which I need to consider at this point. So there, right? We're kind of getting him out of that stance cancel so we don't have to keep guessing those mix-ups. And then I got caught crouching. So in round 4, Leo's a lot like Asuka in the fact that he doesn't need to hit you very much in order to win the round. You just need to get 1 or 2 good interactions and call it, right? So he goes into full crouch, into stance, I get mixed. Just want to highlight this moment here where you can down forward 1 through the mix-up if he doesn't power crush. So there's, right, I believe that's while sitting 3-1. Goes down into stance, mid check covers it. I don't know what he was going to do, but it doesn't matter, right? Just try and cover it, whether it's a mid or a low. So then again, I get caught crouching twice and miss the round. On to this final round. This is such a close match. Back 3 lands because he tried to jab me. We're going to use 2-3 to optimize, 2-1 down plus 2 to get the hard knockdown. And this was kind of awkward, right? So after inner strength gets blocked, there's not a whole lot I can do at -9. So I just tried jabbing. So really good idea to use that throw to wall splat me. 82 damage from that throw. So 4-2, it was kind of a desperation there. We want to spike because the wall is nowhere near, but couldn't get that heat activation. So he wastes his heat dash. We sidestep to the right to get around that throw. We want 1 or 2 interactions from dying. And checkmate with the heat smash. So looking at this final round, there was a lot of momentum on my side, and it really just came down to the fact that Leo was next to the wall. The risk of mashing next to this wall is so high, you should just be being patient, right? So he's doing the right thing. But he missed his window after this inner strength was blocked. So here, I'm -9. So I am no longer able to pressure my turn. But as you notice, he just kept backing up. Those frames we're back to neutral now. He chooses to parry, and then I jab on a very delayed timing. So yeah, unfortunately I didn't break that throw, and I ate, I think it was 84 damage. Crazy damage, 82. So now I'm getting mixed in the corner. The 4-2 lands. I try to stabilize it with jab. And then that heat activation just fails. I don't really know why. But even though it failed, we're still going to throw out that back 4 just in case he mashes a wake-up kick. Because that will allow us to combo him and potentially put him in a one-hit situation. So if I just ran this back and I mashed as Leo, there's that counter hit, right? Which could potentially be a combo. So if you don't know if it's going to happen, at least try and cover something. After this heat dash, he is +5, which allows me to go around some things. So I do a small little sidestep right just to beat a jab or a throw. And what do you know? He does a throw. So this isn't anything crazy. This is just basic fundamentals. But it's good to get in the habit of doing those fundamental things in those situations. Heat smash, and then now he's just in the blender. All right, in this final set, we are still kind of close. This match is also very close, so we'll see the give and take between both these interactions. So here at the wall, hard reset as we've been doing. Break that throw. I've seen that before. Random parry. That was very overzealous. I don't know what he was looking for there. Catches him pressing. Little cheeky setup there, and then punishing him for kip up. Okay, so little things, but huge payout. So he's been jabbing. He's been using down 2 in the neutral. So in this third match, it's almost like if you aren't making hard reads at this point, then you haven't been paying attention. Or your opponent is just so creative and using the entire move list that there's no read to make. But in most cases, there is a read to make. Even at this level, there are still patterns and sequences you can find in your opponent. So we saw lots of representation of down 2 from Leo. So now it's time to make that read on him. So we get the punch parry, up forward 1-2, up forward 1-2 heat activation, and then the combo with the hard reset. So I'm using wall standing 4 to cover because I'm trying to set up a sidestep block. The way he rolled was in the direction that wall standing 4 does not track. So it just completely whiffs. We break that throw, but now our back is against the wall. And then Leo was looking for something, some sort of punch. I don't know what, but it whiffed. So this gives us the ability to just do a pretty easy whiff punish there. And the combo, I just completely failed that part. Then he got caught by the second hit of 3-1. This is a nice little knockdown that gives you just enough time to set up an unblockable. I haven't seen anyone use this strat except for me, so feel free to steal it. On to round 2. So down back 1-2 lands. That covers his low there. Forward 1, a hard reset, but again, just very patient wake up from him. Now I'm just kind of using movement to my advantage and ambiguous offense. So we'll go over what that all means in a second here. Dash down 1+2. It's a sequence that I always preach. So can't sidestep left. We just kind of have to hold whatever he's doing right now. And then there's that while sending 3-1 mix up. That time I tried to call him out for canceling. He didn't. So, okay, so let's take a look. So in the second round, we caught him doing the low. Now he's at the wall, but his back is facing me. So this is awkward, right? I can't just go for a regular wall ender like usual. I have to end it with a hard knockdown. That way I can pressure some sort of Oki situation. Because if I did go for the wall carry, his face would hit the wall and then he would be invincible for a little bit. We definitely don't want that. So while sitting 4, catches him down 2, he blocks. But remember, sidestep window exists. He doesn't take me up on this. So if I was a little faster on this down 2, this would have been a heat engager into a wall splat. But he blocks it, so our pressure is not over. We can still move. So we do 1-3. We use that to move around. We use down forward 1-2. Still no bite from Leo, so we move again. And back 4-2, still nothing. So Leo's completely locked in at this wall, and he just doesn't want to mash. So that's pretty much the perfect example of what you should be doing at the wall when you're getting pressured like this, right? The point was for him to panic and start mashing some sort of button, and he stayed solid the whole time. So good on him. So into a stance cancels and stance mix-ups. I'm sure I'm missing a punish there somewhere. There's that down 2 again. Him canceling his moves. There's that low. And just a typical pressure sequence he's been doing this entire match. So we mash, and we get caught by that low. Okay, round 3. So a little bit of keep out, but not too much, because I know he can punish me. So there's the sidestep left that I was talking about. He got a little bit too predictable, right? Remember, this third match, we're just looking for hard reads at this point. So down +2, force him to guess. Full crouch down forward 3, heat smash. In case he mashes, he dies. And 1-3 is a forced guess there. So this is where you can really just make the game easier for yourself, and I'll show you where these situations are happening. So we go left from his back 1-4, like we talked about. And then we use forward 1. So here are just like these damned if you do, damned if you don't situations. So if you're brave enough, you can sidewalk around Asuka as she does this, right? But you really got to have lots of confidence that I'm going to do this forward 1. And then from here, it's basic, right? All you have to do is punish me because Asuka takes years to recover from this. You can also beat me to the punch, right? You can just jab me and that'll get me out of that. But if you block, you lose health and I'm plus. So there he tries to move out the way. Up forward 1-2 catches him moving to the right. The kip up he's been doing so much when he hits the floor. So here's a little trick about kip up. Watch this. This is super underrated. I don't hear anyone talking about this. So I know he's holding up. Watch. Or sorry, he's holding forward to the kip up, not up. Up is just to stand up normally. So he's holding forward to do the kip up, right? And he springs up on his feet like that. Now, this is some legacy Tekken knowledge. If you're fast enough, you can call out the kip up. There's about, I'm not really sure how many frames exist in this window, but there's a few frames as soon as they get onto their feet right here where they're vulnerable. So the wall running 3 is catching him at this exact timing. And you can even see on the left there, it says punish. So if you time it right, you can punish this kip up. It takes just awareness, right? Awareness of your opponent using that kip up too much. Now let's talk about this pressure sequence. So now I call him out for staying on the ground. So there's back 4. Catches the kip up again. Then I can use down +2 since he's standing. Follow it up with forward 2 always. Now he's in a flip over situation. He has to guess one more time. So I'm doing full crouch down forward 3. This is a potential round winner, right? He could crouch here. If he doesn't, it's still my turn. So now I'm going to heat smash, and this will be any mashing at this point as well, or any crouching at this point. But he does neither. So now it's my turn again because it's the heat smash getting blocked, and I can mix them up one more time. So I choose 1-3, which is high low. He doesn't block low, and we get this round. Okay, on to round 4. Back 1-4. There's that down 2 again, and there is a small sidestep window, but I stepped in the wrong direction, I believe. He tries to convert that hop kick. Now he's moving again. So his movement, like I said, is pretty good. There he is staying on axis with me there. And this is really going to hurt, right? Stomp, 1 interaction from dying, and then there's that round. So you can see glimpses of his movement coming back. And when he does use it, it is super effective. So watch. After he hits this, I believe this is his crouch dash 1, and it gives him that time to step around moves, right? So he does. Gets right around my mid check, but down forward 1-2 will track. So he ends up mashing and getting hit by that. But now he does it again. So watch, it happens very quickly. After this, sidestep right. Gets around my mid check once again. So there I'm getting mixed. Activates heat. So you'll see this a lot, right? So this is pretty much what happens when you get these high ranks. People know the fundamentals like the back of their hand, and they're going to use it against you as much as they can. So here's the heat activation. I can go ahead and turn on the frames to show you what this really looks like for me and him, right? So I'm -1, he's +1. Both of us could step. So if I mash and he jabs, I die. But if he steps and I mash, I also die. So sidestep block is usually the safest choice in this situation, unless I want to do some crazy stuff, right? But I don't, right? I'm almost dead. I'm halfway dead. So I do a sidestep left, he does a sidestep right, and now we're both perfectly on axis. So he runs his mix right away. So at this point, it's just a joust. Who's faster than who? And I don't know what I press. Oh, looks like maybe a full crouch down forward 3. But he's clearly faster, and then this combo really hurts. So then I mash through that string. On to this final round. Go ahead and turn these frames back off. We'll look at what's going on here. So there he is trying to run a mix that's not real. So I just use can to get out of it. Heat activation, and I misjudged the wall there. Little sidestep right to stay on axis. 2-1 down +2 is a way to keep him at the wall and perfectly on axis, as you can see. Sorry for pausing. There's heat smash. 1-1-3 and nothing, right? Leo's just super patient at this wall. Try using movement to my advantage, didn't quite work. Call out the stomp, down back 4 to end the set. All right, so now we are on our God 1 promo. And of course, it's against a Brian. And it is a tough matchup. He does way more damage than you do. He has a much easier time setting up his counter hit attacks. And he has some really nasty wall tech. So we'll see how this goes. So we get hit by that hatchet, block the heat activation. We both do a sidestep there. And I'm just trying to block all of his good buttons. And we're doing an okay job at it. So 2-1 to punish that. And we could get a little bit more though. Finally mashes to the back 3. I was hoping he did some sort of crazy lean or sway or something like that. Try and get to the wall, just a little shy from it. While running 3 trades with while standing 3. And now this is a forced mix-up, but he's just on it. He is on that down +2. So that was a really tough situation. I crouch into the mix-up there. So he gets the momentum in the beginning of this round, and he just keeps it all the way. It never ends. Like, just watch how this momentum goes in his favor. So I side roll to my left because that will make me parallel with this wall. However, now my back is against this wall behind me. So it's kind of a damned situation for me. So I need to do more movement to get around. So now his back is against the wall, which is great. But then he does heat dash to push me back into this wall. So now, again, I'm back in this really threatening situation against Brian, and it kind of sucks. So he just blocks my down back 1-2. I get a nice punish on the power crash. It could have been better, though. And then we finally get a little break. Get this back 3 to land. So upward 1-2 heat activation. Attempt to get to the wall, but just a little shy. While running 3 trades with while standing 3. Heat smash, and now we force a mix-up onto him. But he had no problem blocking that down +2. So a little worrying. And then we crouch into the next mix-up. Okay, let's look at this first round. It was not good, right? He had the momentum through the entire round, and we could not catch a break just for that one back 3 we got, and that was pretty much it. So there I am, trying to hit confirm down back 1, trying to get anything against this Brian, who's steamrolling me. Heat dash back into this wall like I was talking about earlier. He gives me a break by doing this power crash, which is cool. Right there, 2-1, and just really just trying to get anything to work here. So back 3 lands, up forward 1-2 heat activation. A failed attempt at getting to the wall, but we got some health back, so we will take that. So now he has to guess: is it down +2? Is it 1+2? It's really not a mix-up if you know how to fuzzy duck, but maybe he did, right? Maybe he did do a fuzzy duck here. So he gets this combo, hard reset, mid-low for me now, and I guess wrong. So now we're going into this second round, and again, very worrying. He's out-timing me in almost every interaction. So there we call out his cancel. We've seen that before a billion times. While sitting 3 beat smashers there, so he beat me mashing something. And now I have one chance at this wall. And he heat smashes his way out, gets that second round. So again, kind of another steamroll match for Brian. He's super out timing me. I'm trying to make reads on him at this point, but it's difficult. I can't quite get a read on what he's going to do next. So Requiem lands, while standing 3, goes immediately into it. And now I'm trying to hit confirm my down back 1-2. I'm trying to get something, right? If he mashes, if he crouches, nothing. So he smashes his way out, and then I get hit by this whole string. Okay, on to this third round. I have to lock in because I have one more shot at this. So he doesn't budge on 2-1 down +2, but we get a small little poke. So we take the small wins. We call out his cannonball straight because that's the typical range at which a Brian will use that move. While standing 2, ambiguous offense, and we don't get the wall splat, but we get some mental stack, we get some pressure, and down 4 ends the round. So pretty much in this round, my goal, instead of trying to read this Brian, is to steamroll him instead. So I am kind of just taking more risks and being more aggressive than I normally would be, and it's actually working out in my favor. So after this hard knockdown, usually I do full crouch down forward 3, do the chip damage, do the inner strength or whatever, right, or throw. But in this case, he's not quite low enough for me to just go for those. I want to keep my momentum going, go for the bigger stuff later. So after this hard knockdown, while standing 2 comes out. Now there's a rhyme and reason behind all of this, okay? While standing 2-1 is a string. So at this rank, everyone knows what while standing 2-1 looks like. But if you just use while standing 2, Brian's going to sit there and expect the second part to come out. Watch. See how he's just waiting? He could either crouch under the while standing 2-1 or just wait for it. So now he doesn't know what I'm going to do because I didn't finish the string. So there's no signal to him yet. So I take this opportunity, I jab, use 1-3, and then try use that to step around something. Look how sharp this Brian player is. Watch. He knows this window exists. He keeps me perfectly on axis for my sidestep. So he's just reading everything that I'm doing at this point. Upward 1-2 beats his next button. And now I am mixing him with down +2 loop. Down 4 to end the round. So in this fourth round, I'm just like, okay, let's just keep the pressure on. And then look, we get counter hit. This is what Brian's the best at. So takes away almost half my health. Down +2 shy. And this is not looking good. So he mashes into my string. He tries to step away from inner strength, and I can kind of make this janky little combo going from wall to wall there. We set him up with a sidestep block, finally. And now we do a hard reset with forward, forward 1. So the reason this kind of worked out for me is because Brian failed to read my mix-up. It was just too ambiguous for him at this point. So I can show you how this all kind of went down. And it all started when he mashed through my string here. So this gives me some momentum to start with. And now he's frantically trying to step around this mix-up. 1+2 lands. Instead of going straight for a tornado, I try and get this 45-degree angle on the wall, which we can still hit him off of the wall, right? So watch. See how he's off the wall now? This is the angle that we're at, allows us to do this. So we do the tornado and activate heat. So here, instead of doing 2-1 down +2 or 1+4 2-4, we just do a forward forward 1. Just reset the combo, make him guess again, because if he guesses wrong, it's really gonna hurt. So here he is, springing back up on his feet. Forward 1. He crouches, right? But he blocks the second kick. So okay, that's cool. We do have a small window to sidestep if the right move comes out. So he jabs, we get right around that jab. Down back 1-4. There's not a whole lot to do with how I set this up, so I just reset the combo again. And then he crouches again. And this is a mini combo, which ends the round. Okay, final round to get God 1. We're going to stick to the plan. Keep being as ambiguous as possible with our offense. And there you go. We got some cancels going. Use our movement to our advantage. The hatchet kick I was ready for, as you can see, but I was a bit nervous. Mashes into my string. I was really surprised he did that. 2-1 to beat the Power Crush. And he leans, and I get that match. So in the second match, the game pretty much went the same way it did last time. I get steamrolled, and then I start slowly climbing back. So here he goes into Requiem, into the wall, trying my best to get out of this wall situation. Does not fall for that string anymore. So there I am getting punished, and try my best to get out of the situation. Heat activation tracks me, and he gets a perfect. So like I said, very back and forth, but at first this Brian just knows what to do. So he reads me crouching on wake up and launches me into this wall. So I need to get away from this wall, so there's that sidestep left. Calls out my string there because he got hit by it twice beforehand. So now he's reading me. While standing 2-1, there's a sidestep window here. I don't actually know why this didn't work. I can try and test this one more time. I don't know. I guess his tracking is just really good there. But theirs is perfect. All right, on to round 2. So there's that cannonball I was looking for, but failed to kind of punish him and start our pressure. So immediately reads me. I don't know how he's so good at defending against me, but call him out for using back 1. If it didn't work out, I still could enhance the forward 2 and make it safe, so no skin off my back really. And I should be jabbing him a little bit more to beat that hatchet kick, but it didn't really happen the way I wanted it to. So I traded while standing 1-4. This is a good situation for him, and I have to wake up into something. All right, so he makes that pretty much uninterruptible. So again, in the second round, I'm struggling. I am just getting mixed by this Brian, and I'm looking for an answer, some sort of answer. So he gives me a bone by using that unsafe kick. And we are just, again, just trying to fish for something. We're just fishing for something at this point. So 1-2-3, up forward 1-2, and I try to extend the combo. It didn't work out in the way I wanted it to. There's that back 1 trying to catch me again, and I just had to be wary of it. You can sidewalk it though, but again, it's Brian. You don't really want to take too big of a risk. So Heat Smash into uninterruptible string, and there's that round. So in this third round, it's kind of like the last match. We have to climb our way back up into this match. It's just such a struggle against Brian all the time. So we get him to the wall. We call him out for crouching. Nice little tech. I forgot who I learned that from. I think maybe Fergus. I honestly don't remember. Okay, let's look at this third round because it actually went a little better than normal. So the reason this worked out for me is because I used the space from down two to cause Brian to mash into me and whiff. So this part was intentional, right? I do one backdash, press down two, and then you do one backdash. So you can see it creates that space. So now we get this launcher. We can get him to the wall as close as possible as we can. Catch him crouching. And then we do this weird setup. Again, I forgot who I learned this from. I can't remember. But I'll put it on screen if I remember. So we do that little cross up there. He crouches once more. And now we are ending the round with 3-1. Okay, round 4. So now it's just a matter of how can I like not get steamrolled by Brian at the wall. So I'm kind of delaying my wake ups, not really working out. Checking him to see if he'd block down +2. He didn't. Respect the mix up there after Heat Smash. No crouch on down back 1-2. Catch up mashing. And there he is crouching again. So here I actually do the combo properly. And then we catch him with Can because he's getting up with a low. And this will end the round. So we clawed our way back up this far. And I'll show you some small interactions that you can use in your games that can be helpful. So we do a delayed wake up here. Doesn't matter because he just uses Hatchet anyway. Down +2. And again, my back is against the wall. So respect the mix up. And I catch him mashing with down back 1-2. So hit confirm that. Looks like he's crouching once more. And just a little combo to get our health back. It doesn't really matter. I just want my health back at this point. 1+2 covers a wake up kick on immediate timing. And a delayed timing wake up, Can will cover that. So we're covering more than one option there. Spike and then flip over. Okay, final round. So there's that hatchet I should be jabbing him out of. Down back 1-2 catches back 1. Kind of testing his patience a little bit, but back 4 catches on an irregular timing there. Totally don't know what the heck that was, but it worked out. Try to optimize this. And he's going to convert that. He is absolutely going to convert that. There's the hatchet again, that was obvious. Down back 4, low parry. And Snake Edge, right? We can react to Snake Edge, so there's the set.